Take two.
Take two. Wait, is it recording?
It is this time. I see the red.
Guys, we recorded a whole intro and Matt Palmer realized it wasn't recording. I sang. I gave you vocals.
Well,
no one's ever going to hear it now.
I guess only the people in the lives heard it. And, it's a special exclusive content. If you go to youtube.com/2gaymats every Sunday night at 6:30 p.m. PST, you'll find us on live recording this podcast and chatting up with the people. You should do it.
I know. We're all going insane. We're arguing about shortbread cookies still.
And Folklore by Taylor Swift still. Because some things we'll just never get to the bottom of.
No.
These are the big questions of the universe. That's what we're really talking about in the chats these days, you know?
And this is why it's important to vote.
I don't know.
Vote in the live chat so there is eventually a winner of some kind. And vote in general. Thank you.
Yes, I feel like that was a jump. That was a leap. But I agree with you on both counts. You should join the lives and you should vote. This is the week for that.
Yeah.
I want to do that before we go to Palm Springs.
Yes.
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 Please.
Jesus. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to 2K Mats. It's Matt Palmer.
And it's Matt Steele.
We're back again. Another podcast, another week. Matt Steele.
Yes.
How was your week?
My week was very, very nice. I did a few things. I remember the Fitbit job that I was working in December and then in March.
You're not doing it again.
I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
But they are shooting again. But I was like, I'm going to be away for many days during shooting because I will be in Palm Springs celebrating the birth of Matt Palmer, even though his birthday was a while ago. But whatever. I was like, I won't be able to make it this round and everything. But they were like, do you want to come in for 2 days to train the person who will replace you? And I was like, sure, I'll come in. I'll get paid for 2 days teaching people how to do the thing.
Doesn't sound bad.
It was very nice, to see everyone. I got to say hey to everyone on set and then goodbye and be like, I'm not joining you this time. And I went to the dentist. I have new dental insurance. So it was a new dentist.
Okay.
And they told me that not only is my hair great, but my teeth are great as well.
So they complimented your hair initially?
My hair initially, and then my teeth afterwards.
Wow.
And so it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm just winning constantly.
Well, if there's anything I feel like about 2Gay Mats, the thing that we connect most on is we care a lot about dental hygiene.
Oh my God.
We are big brushers, big flossers. The floss picks are a godsend. Truly the best. I get so tired at night and then I'm just like, but then I get to floss. I don't know why it makes me so happy, but it truly and legitimately does. And thus, the dentists like us.
And I always tell the kiddies when, the children, when they get their braces, I get in their face and I'm just like, listen, child, you have braces now. I'm going to give you pieces of advice.
Yes.
I don't care that it takes 30 minutes to floss when you have your braces. Floss when you have your braces. And they're probably so scared of me. They're just like, I'm 10. Stop it. But I'm like an angry parent. I'm just like, you better floss because when you get those braces off and you didn't floss, you will regret it. And I got my braces off and I flossed every day with the braces.
Yes.
And I got my braces off and the orthodontist was just like, you flossed every day.
Good for you.
Yes, I did, sir.
I will say that goes for Invisalign as well. I had Invisalign. I never had braces. Had Invisalign in college, and I felt like I was good with my flossing, but not as good as I am about it now. I've never had more cavities in my life.
Oh my God.
And I'm a person who generally at that time would floss. I floss religiously now, but it's because with that Invisalign, you're just trapping all the bacteria.
It's trapping all the stuff. I had regular old school.
Right.
Well, actually, I had the
ones.
porcelain
Oh yeah.
That were
they
clear,
were
but
tooth colored.
But the tooth colored on the top, but you could still see the metal of the band or whatever it was. But and then I got my braces off right before I went to college because I had my braces in high school.
Yes.
And I wore my retainer every day, and to this day, I still wear my retainer every night.
Really?
So kids out there,
I'm not good about that.
If you have a retainer, wear it. It is worth it. You will regret it if you don't. That's my TED Talk of the week.
I agree with you, but I will say, as a person who doesn't do it every night, if you do it regularly enough that the teeth don't you can't put it back on, you're good.
I did it for from 2006 is when I got my braces off. Ooh, I just revealed my age. I got my braces off in 2006, and then in 2020 I got a new retainer.
Oh,
I went to another orthodontist, and I was like, I need a new retainer. This is 14 years old. And he was like, you've been wearing this for 14 years? That's none of my clients do that, and I would none of my patients do that. And I was like, well, yeah. And he was like, okay, I think you're at the point where you can wear it every other day.
Did you move to other day? Every other day?
I did move to every other day.
Okay,
So
I was
it's
going to say.
that day without it is a treat. It's a treat for myself. But what else did I do? We got off on a tangent about teeth. But what's it called? The other thing I did this week, my good friend Lauren got her PhD.
Congrats to Lauren.
She is the girl who plays Cindy Shuttlebauer in the movie Devo's available now.
She's also featured in our Cats review video.
Where we reviewed the iconic film of the millennium.
Because someone had to talk to Matt Steele about it, and it was not going to be me.
Because Lauren is a huge cat stan. And so she just got her PhD, and so she had a graduation party on Friday. So I went to that, and it was wonderful seeing her and her friend. She graduated from USC, and so I've gotten to know her USC friends.
Nice.
And so it was good seeing them again. So yeah, it was a lovely week. I'm so used to at graduation parties though having vodka rigatoni because that vodka rig is like the graduation food of choice when you grow up in New Jersey.
I don't know that I've had vodka rigatoni in my life.
Vodka rig. We call it vodka rig.
I didn't know.
And because every graduation party you go to in New Jersey, for some reason it's always vodka rig.
Interesting.
And you always go and you're just like, who did the vodka rig?
Oh my God.
Who catered the vodka rig? I don't know. It's just a New Jersey thing.
Wow.
But yeah, there was no vodka rig, but there were dumplings.
That's great.
And there was rosemary infused lemonade, which she let me take home with me.
Oh. Also great. Also sounds like something you would do. The thing is, when Matt Steele comes over and we've just eaten or something, Jackson will always offer him food. And I'm like, if ever you offer Matt Steele food, he will eat it. He will take it. He will eat it. And so it's like, sometimes I want that extra cinnamon roll. We don't need to pass it along.
But like, do you need that extra cinnamon roll? I mean, I'm emaciated.
I don't know that I do.
So I need it.
I would not call you emaciated. I think you're doing well.
All right. What did you do this week?
I didn't have too crazy of a week.
Okay, guys, we're going in for
No, I still have some things to say. Hello, I have a voice.
I have a voice. From The King's Speech.
Another bad movie.
I love The King's Speech.
Snooze. Who has 3 hours to talk about this guy's stutter and then it just was paint by numbers. Anyways.
I loved it.
Jackson came back in town, so I picked him up from the airport.
Okay.
That night, that was Monday night, drove down to and it was like the traffic at LAX, even on a Monday night at 10 p.m. is truly horrifying.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've heard so many people talk about the Burbank airport being a better experience. I'm like, maybe now's the time I try. I have a good enough job. I assume all the flights are more expensive because that's the whole thing. But I live so much closer there. It's got to be a calmer situation. I've got to give it a go because LAX is out of control.
Whenever I go to Burbank Airport, though, I've picked up some people from Burbank Airport. I'm always scared because it's like it feels so empty, and I'm like, is anyone here?
That's what I
want.
Is
this a real airport?
That's what I want.
That's like one time I did a short film. I shot a short film in Tallahassee, Florida. Okay. And I flew into Tallahassee Airport.
This is when you were the therapist?
When I was the therapist who used to be a chicken.
Of course.
It was a fantasy.
Yes.
And so I remember landing at the airport and I was like, oh, this airport's small. And then I met with the producer who was going to pick me up. And I was like, oh, where's your car? And she was just like, oh, in the parking lot right here. Like you walked out of the airport and there was just like a parking lot right next to it. And there were just like 20, 30 cars in it. And I'm just
obsessed.
Like it was a parking lot like you went to like a Walmart or something like even smaller. And I was like, a parking lot?
I need it.
Crazy. Blew my mind because I've always lived near giant airports like Newark or Philly or LAX.
Right.
So it's like, ugh.
I'm excited. I think it's time to turn the page, just to give it a try, give it a go. So the next flight I book, hold me to this. I want to fly to Burbank.
Or Burbank, is it usually more expensive if you fly out of Burbank, though?
I think it is. And I'm someone who likes to keep the costs low.
But the travel from where you live now to LAX it's
unbearable.
Yeah,
and especially if Jackson wasn't here and we had to take an Uber or something, we certainly would make up.
That's what happens when you move to the Valley. Girl.
All right. Other things I did last night. We saw Hades Town.
Oh, how was it?
It was good. You know how I feel about the vocal performances.
Okay.
I think and again, the people in the touring company, unbelievable, especially Eurydice. She did a great job. Orpheus did a great job as well. I felt that we both kind of felt that the staging of the show, it's very like Hamilton-esque, and like the stage is what you're seeing what you're getting for basically the whole show, right? Like there's some things that move and change, and there are some moments that the staging is cool, but it was very like steampunk, which I'm sure you've seen from the Tony Awards performance. That vibe. It looked like they were performing like at Tom Tom or something. Like it was like gears were everywhere. It just was. I feel like for a show that is so not dense in plot, it's like everything is sung through. That's great. They're kind of pop song-esque. You're repeating choruses. The songs aren't really moving the plot along. It just felt almost more like a beautifully it's like a beautiful concert.
Okay.
The story was a little light. I didn't dislike it. I thought it was nice. There are songs that I will keep and listen to again. But I think we both were a little underwhelmed.
Okay.
The performances were amazing.
Well, the thing is, it is like, a Greek fable or Roman Greek. It's Greek,
I think
right?
it's Greek.
Sure. It is a Greek fable. So like the retellings of those fables now tend to be like, the story is just the basic, simple story in the same way like a fairy tale is told, like Little Red Riding Hood or something like that. And so when those stories are expanded into like a 2.5 hour thing, like it's more so like how it's done and the like visual and like movement of it and everything. And some people are all about that and some people are not. They're just like, I don't care how it's done. It's like, give me extra plot.
I'm here for
it depends on what you like.
And I'm here for the vocals again. I really thought the vocals were lovely. I also think it was I think it closes today. Like there might have been matinee, but it was like the final Saturday, and it seemed like we were in the audience with a bunch of like Hadestown heads who were like hanging on every word and like so obsessed with it. And we felt like, are we crazy for not having such a large reaction? I also was like a little sleepy. And so I like nodded off a couple of times, but it's lovely. But I feel like you get.
The score is beautiful.
Yes, I think you get what you're going to get from the show from the score. Personally,
I feel like it's something that it's a style that you can either really get invested in or it just like doesn't resonate with you. Stylistically.
Totally.
So I would have loved to have seen it. I mean, the cast recording to me is really interesting. I love all the score pretty much. So I would have been interested to see it live and see the actual staging because I'm a sucker for staging.
Right.
Like that's where me and Matt Palmer did. Like he's like, I don't care what they do.
No, and the thing is, I don't super care, but like it was minimal. You wouldn't have gotten. I mean, there are moments, sure, but it's not like. It's minimal.
I do love seeing like the things they do with the lights that hang and like, the swinging of those. I think that's gorgeous. Everything I've seen.
Yes, but that was like one of the 2 moments.
Okay.
And so it was, again, I don't want to shit on Hadestown. I do like the score. Vocal performance is unbelievable. Just I'm looking forward to our next show. I think our next show is Dear Evan Hansen, actually. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
I'm excited
Dear
for
Evan
that.
Hansen's coming back to LA?
It is.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Still have not seen that show live.
And then, today we went to one of Jackson's friends, had some friends over in Santa Clarita for just like a Memorial Day weekend. There were like a million babies around, running around and chatting with some of his old friends who used to go to UCLA. And it was nice to catch up with them and, meet new people and see new children and be like, hello.
See new children
see
and
new
be like,
children.
listen, kid, when you get braces,
I did not
floss. Put
scare.
the hook. You get a hook thing and you put it through. And
I didn't yell at any children today.
It takes forever.
We are different.
Yeah.
All right. Should we dive into the news for idiots?
Let's go into the news for idiots. What if I was just like, no?
No?
let's please not.
And this is a kind of a weird week. I feel like we're kind of, as far as the, like not depressing news, which we will touch on, there's news stories, but they're all kind of like nothing giant happened that was not very sad. Well, we're going to start with Kevin Spacey got charged with 4 counts of sexual assault in the UK.
I did not know that there were actual charges that were filed against him after the whole scandal happened.
The thing is, I don't think there were for a long time, which is why he was like peeking his toes back in and being like putting up his YouTube channel,
making those videos on New Year's Eve twice.
That was so
in
weird.
a row.
And so I think now we won't be hearing a lot from Mr. Spacey.
Okay.
I think he's just going to remain in that bucket because I feel like a lot of people who get like canceled, quote unquote, try to mount their comebacks. I think
he's chilled.
I think we're good on that.
He's got his 2 Oscars and
I hope the people who have charged him, I hope they get the I believe victims. That's what I will say. And I hope that this all goes well and that the truth comes out.
Yes.
Yes.
And that
everyone
settled appropriately.
Yes, absolutely. Have you looked at the box office recently?
Top Gun.
Top Gun Maverick is debuting with $124 million.
That's the movie fans are thrilled.
And I bet they're thrilled it's not Marvel.
Yes, that's the thing. It's like, oh no, this isn't like a huge franchise that like,
right.
This is just like a sequel.
Yes.
One sequel
yes.
with a bona fide movie star Tom Cruise. And like, it's doing so well, and it's apparently excellent.
I've heard it's very good, and I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see it after I see Sonic 2, of course. But
there are priorities, guys.
Am I supporting Scientology if I've seen it? I mean, that's the question. And it's like, I get that the movie's going to be a success, whether or not I personally go see it.
But you're supporting everyone else involved.
That's what Jackson said. I have to think about all the other cast and
all
other
the
crew
little
members.
people, like Miles Teller.
Oh, yes, poor little Miles Teller. Poor Glenn Powell.
The gaffers. I just went on a date with a guy who works for Hans Zimmer. And so he worked on the score for that.
I was gonna say, I guess
support him.
I guess we're in LA because I feel like you've been on many dates with people who are like various ways in the industry around these like giant movies. Because didn't you go on a date with the guy who did the Avatar font?
Yes, I went on. We're friends. He the logo, the Avatar 2 logo that has been on the social media with the A with the bird in it. Yeah. He designed that.
Wow.
And he didn't know that was what was going to be chosen.
Did he design all the options, or did the one he designed win?
They got a bunch of graphic designers and been like, hey, try to design something for Avatar 2.
Right.
And he did a couple things, and then someone texted him one day and was like, go to the Avatar Facebook page.
Shit.
And his was the one that James Cameron himself chose.
Wow.
And so, yeah.
Good for him.
Really, yeah, Chris is he's a very talented artist. Chris Abels.
All right, Chris.
We're buds. He's great, yeah.
Hi, Chris. Hopefully he's a listener.
I don't think he is.
Oh, well,
but he has a great art page on Instagram, so I'm promoting that.
All right. You have to at least send, him a clip of this because we just gave him a lot of free promo here. Come on. Halsey's label is saying, and I think this was happening a little bit last week, but it's gone even larger. She is saying that her label will not release her new song unless they can fake a viral moment on TikTok. She says, quote, everything is marketing and they are doing this to every artist these days. I just want to release music, man, and I deserve better. TBH, I'm tired. Halsey has a new song they love, but says their record label won't let them release it. Other artists have also aired their frustrations over their record labels pushing them to make content for TikTok. I believe Florence and the Machine, who we were just discussing, is having a similar issue. Charlie XCX made a TikTok saying like, oh, this is when my label forces me to make TikToks. And someone was like, oh, this is happening to Charlie too. And she responded, oh no, I was just lying for fun. I thought it was pretty funny. But I think it's sad. I think it's weird, but it's also like, is this weirdly not a form of it going viral on TikTok? Like you complaining about the label not letting you release it, and now we're all talking about it.
Is this reverse psychology and Halsey's just a genius, and she's like,
maybe she's in on it. Maybe the label's like, say that we won't let you release your music unless blah blah blah,
and then it'll also give you like the sympathy listen.
I know, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but I would be very shocked if this song did not come out soon because this is the most Halsey's been talked about in a while.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like if the label really wants this to happen, why don't they treat it like it's any other sort of promo, like some sort of music video or like little tiny snippet or something, and like hire someone to just like meet up with her for like 2 or 3 days and just make a buttload of TikTok videos for her and everything. So she's not the one that has to do this.
Because this is true. I'm telling you, TikTok is like a job. People are editing these things. They're lip syncing. It's like, the idea of people being able to do it all on the app is crazy to me. I'm like, God. Give me Final Cut. Let me line things up that way. The idea of doing this all on my phone is insane.
The annoying thing with TikTok is like when you try to edit something to music or something, it never really it's very hard to make it line up when it gets uploaded because something gets off when you hit upload. And as someone who likes things precise.
Same. Hello.
TikTok is my hell.
I know. Yeah. I will edit a vertical video that I can upload to TikTok, but the idea of like using their functionality.
Your phone, like with your fingers, getting it precise. No. And that's why like you see so many TikTok videos and it's like words get cut off and it's like
bad.
Vomit everywhere. Like how dare you subject me to this?
And it's also like people who make TikTok content and then push it to Instagram Reels because Instagram Reels has a hard 60-second rule. And so they'll make a TikTok video that's like 1 minute, 40 seconds, and then we'll just upload the first minute to Instagram. And I'm like, this is awful.
Miserable.
This is upsetting to me. So I'm sure Halsey's going to be fine. We're clearly talking about her.
Do you foresee this type of like format lasting?
No.
I don't. Like I can't see people really being like attached to like 1 minute of cut off videos like forever.
I think TikTok will be around, but I think its importance in the industry, especially in music, is going to die down. Like I feel like, they've made it so you can upload longer content depending on what kind of creator you are. Like I think you can now upload up to 10 minutes of footage.
Geez.
So it's going to be around. It's going to be a thing. But I feel like YouTube, like Instagram, like Facebook, they all have peaks and then they kind of level off. And they're still around. They're still available to us. But they're not as like, this is the end and be all. And like, you can't release your song unless it's viral on TikTok. But TikTok helped that new Lizzo single. I feel like I hear that single now all the time when at first it was kind of flopping.
That's true. I mean, and also the thing with TikTok that I've said before is like the platforms that really got huge, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and everything, those were being utilized by all age groups.
Yes.
Like content was being created by all age groups. Like anyone could join Facebook after a certain point.
True.
And so like, but with TikTok, I don't really see older people like our parents like really being like, yeah, I'm addicted to TikTok.
That audio where there's the person being like, oh, this is for the older generation of TikTok, like born in like 95 or earlier. And it's like 95 you're saying is the older.
Oh.
So it must be hard for you since you were also born in the 80s. Yeah?
What decade? I don't know.
I saw that acting face coming up and it's like, bitch, we're going to be honest here on the podcast,
I
darling.
don't know that decade.
You know it well.
I don't know it well.
You know 2 years of it.
I don't because I didn't have a memory then.
Okay.
I mean, my earliest memory was when we got my dog when I was 18 months old.
That's the thing. I'm positive your earliest memory was before my earliest memory.
Oh, well, you have no memory whatsoever.
I have some memories.
People act like I have the most amazing memory, and I'm just
true.
like, guys, I just remember things. Like
I mean, 18 months old, you remember the dog. That is an amazing
I remember the
memory.
dog coming in.
That's an
like,
amazing memory.
Yeah. I remember my second birthday very well.
I remember maybe being on like a blue elephant slide at my third birthday.
Okay, 3.
Okay, 3.
But I remember you telling me you don't remember like anything of kindergarten. And it's
like distinct moments. Like I can kind of see the room, but like distinct moments now.
Oh, I remember like distinct moments. I mean, it's
don't.
all relatively vague in a cloudy atmosphere, but
Right.
but I remember like distinct moments. I remember the first day walking in very clearly, sitting next to my soon to be like still very, very good friend, Amanda Mancino.
I remember we had to move to trailers at some point because they were like renovating the school. I remember walking down the parkway with Ro, who is Prince Charles in the Diana musical film Netflix. And I remember our conversation pretty clearly, but like that's second grade earliest probably.
Okay.
Of like a very clear conversation I remember.
I have a friend who says he can't remember anything prior to 6th grade. And I'm like, I
remember singing I Believe I Can Fly at 4th grade graduation. I also remember forcing Miss Mayfield to let me sing Butterfly at the 5th grade graduation.
Baby, that audience remembers it too.
I bet they do.
Hey.
I mean, I bet they like the I Believe I Can Fly better than the Butterfly because I was like, no, I'll be doing it in Mariah's key. My voice hadn't changed, but I'm sure it didn't sound great up there. Well, you know how I feel about kids singing. Anyways, we've talked about...
You're shading yourself here.
True. We've talked about everything but the news for idiot, so let's go on. This Is Us aired its final episode this past week.
How do you... Wait, Matt Bridges is here.
Oh, hi, Matt Bridges! Oh my God, that's so great. We'll talk to you on the break.
We'll talk to you about
This Is Us's finale aired this week, and it was less depressing than the penultimate episode, like Mandy Moore told us. It was less about the finality. Again, spoilers if you have not seen these last 2 episodes, but the episode prior was about the end of Mandy's life. She, inside of her, there was like a train metaphor. She was on a train and she was walking through the train and couldn't go to the caboose because when she goes to the caboose, she died. And she was like, I'm waiting for someone. And she was passing by all the other cast members and characters that had died throughout the show.
Okay.
And so she's waiting and you don't know who she's waiting for until it's clear that in real life, Kate is in London and has to fly back from London to like be with their mom in her final moments. And she's like, I don't want to go back there until Kate is here. Kate is there. And she's like, this is sad, isn't it? And then William, who was Randall's biological father, who died first season, I believe, was like, if something is sad at its ending, it just means it was so beautiful as it was going. And so every other line in that final episode and in the last episode were like, this is a beautiful moment that's just like, means that the show is ending and all of you feel the feelings. So then she walks in that penultimate episode. She sits on this bed, just the bed. It's just her in the room. She looks over. Milo Ventimiglia. Jack, which by the way is lovely, and of course they were the couple that started the show. She remarries a man who was Jack's best friend after Jack dies, and he gets like 3 seconds on that train to engage with her.
On.
He's just like, I'm here with some wine, and you're my favorite person, and she's just like, cool. Anyways, and just like walks on by.
So much.
It's wonderful. But the last episode was essentially like, the whole thing is the thing she said before she really succumbed to Alzheimer's was, I'm scared of forgetting the little moments, and those little moments are going to be harder for me to live without than the big moments I'll forget. And so it was like something they filmed 3 years prior with the kids when they were younger ages, of like, it was a Saturday and none of the kids had anything to do and they all just spent time together, and it was like Randall and Kevin's first time shaving, and Kate was like feeling nostalgic and like, oh, we never all together, and like, I know we're gonna grow and be further apart, we need to like make the most of these memories. And it just was a very lovely like patchwork of like lining up those old memories to like what was happening with the funeral that we were witness to of Mandy's character. It was lovely. I really love how it all wrapped up. I cried less this week than I did last week, and I just, hats off to This Is Us. That show's great. I feel like no one is talking about this series finale as much as I am, but I really do love the show.
I mean, I'm kind of offended that hairdresser that was cut out of the Halloween episode wasn't on the train.
It is weird.
It's weird. I mean, she wasn't in that scene, but...
And you...
and I wasn't in that. I ended up not being in that scene.
But hey, you filmed for This Is Us and saw Mandy Moore on set.
I saw Mandy Moore on set as my like car, they were put me in the little golf cart after I filmed my scene with the guy who plays Kevin.
Yes, Justin Hartley.
After I filmed my scene with him, I was like, oh, I'm bummed I didn't get to see Mandy to like tell her, because he was like, if you see Mandy on set of This Is Us, tell her my roommate loves Gardenia. Great
Mandy Moore stuff.
And so I was like, oh, I didn't get to see her, and I sit on the golf cart and it starts to drive away slowly, and then I see a little person come from behind like a trailer and like look at like the kids with their the kids of the show like were dressed in Halloween costumes, and she came out and looked at them and was like, oh, you look so cute, and I was like, that's Mandy Moore. And I like, as the car was driving away, and I was like, wait, Gardenia.
I love that it crossed your mind. I appreciate it. And you were a part of history. You were part of a show.
And she knows that you love Gardenia because Jackson, Matt Palmer's boyfriend, gave Matt Palmer a cameo of Mandy Moore and said, my boyfriend loves Gardenia.
Which I do. It's an excellent piece of music. Goodfellas star Ray Liotta died at 67.
That is so sad. He was so young.
Yeah, 67 is not... Yeah.
And
did we find out what happened?
I don't know. I know it said he died in his sleep.
Oh.
That's just great. And I mean, just like, what an amazing like batch of films. Like, he's especially known for Goodfellas. Like, that is his big movie. He was the star of Goodfellas, acting opposite Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, like as mobsters and everything, and really just like holding his own and carrying that movie so well. He is so excellent in that movie, and just like an excellent actor all around. Great in Marriage Story. He was the divorce lawyer, like big tough divorce lawyer in Marriage Story. Like such a great actor, and it's really sad because it was so young, and so all of the people who he worked with were very shocked by it. Like, I saw Lorraine Bracco tweet about it, who played his wife in Goodfellas and everything. It's really sad.
It is sad. It is very sad. So, sad to hear about that. Absolutely. And this is more for Matt Steele. Apparently, Alexis Bledel has abruptly exited The Handmaid's Tale. As the last person I know who watches The Handmaid's Tale, what is that a big deal? Was she
why
big
did
in
she
it?
leave? I didn't hear this story.
She says, quote, after much thought, I felt I had to step away from The Handmaid's Tale at this time. I am forever grateful to Bruce Miller for writing such truthful and resonant scenes for Emily, and to Hulu, MGM, and the cast and crew for their support. So is she a big part of the storyline last you left off?
She was, yeah.
Really? How are they going to
I don't know.
make this make sense without her?
They'll probably just, her character has been through a lot and has been, suffers from hardcore PTSD and everything. So I could see her character just being like, I need to go away.
Totally. Okay.
Because they're in Canada now. Like, June is free in Canada.
Right. They're kind of free, right?
Yeah, they're kind of like free, and now they're working on this kind of like stuff from afar. But I'm surprised that she's leaving, especially because season 4 was very, very well received.
Right.
Like, the performances were so good in season 4.
Right.
So it's her personal choice to leave. So whatever she moves on to next, wish her the best. She gave an amazing performance on The Handmaid's Tale. Won an Emmy for guest actress. For season 1, I believe.
Wow.
And yeah.
She was on Gilmore Girls, and one of her love interests was Milo Ventimiglia from This Is Us. We're bringing it all back.
I didn't know that's what he was from. He's
Absolutely.
From Gilmore Girls.
Well, he was from, I think he was on Heroes as well.
Okay.
And Gilmore Girls, he was like was her name was Rory, his name was Jess, and then also This Is Us, obviously. And he was in the Fergie, why am I doing his IMDb right now? But he was also in the Fergie video for Big Girls Don't Cry.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yes.
Well, don't worry, Handmaid's Tale, I will not be walking away from you. I will be hanging on because I have to know how it ends. I just want to know how it ends.
You care. Justin Timberlake sold his entire music catalog for $100 million.
To whom?
To Hypnosis Song Management.
Okay.
Don't know what that is. The deal is reportedly worth $100 million. Singer joins a growing list of prominent musicians who have sold their catalogs within the last year. In addition to his entire music catalog, Hypnosis will also own Justin's copyright ownership and the financial interests of the writer and publisher share of the writer's public performance income going forward. Wow, he's giving away a lot. Yeah. It's like if he writes something new, they don't just get the publisher. Like, okay, if the song is split up songwriting-wise, 50-50, there's the publisher half, the writer half. They're getting the entire publisher half, and I think half of the writer half. Whew. And I get it. I feel like he has a baby, and, you know, we're trying to make all the money we can. He's not, like, the most prolific. He doesn't put out albums all the time. The last album didn't do so hot. But that still feels like you're giving away a lot. There are a lot of big hits in his catalog. I don't know. Yeah. It seems like that's 100 million.
And songs that like people would want to use a lot. Like
right.
Lorna's, now you're going to have to reach out to Hypnosis when you want to do that cover of My Name is Bob and I Work at My Job.
I actually do like that song. You know, I like Losing My Way. It's a great song. But yeah, that's weird. Liam Payne from One Direction was cheating on his girlfriend. I don't care too much about that.
Okay.
Brandy did a rap.
What?
Did you hear about the story about Jack Harlow being interviewed and like someone played a clip of, I believe, Almost Doesn't Count for Jack Harlow. And he was like, I don't know who this is.
Oh, I remember hearing
that.
that.
Someone was like, okay, she has a very famous brother. And they're like, he's like, I don't know who that is. He's like, well, the famous brother has a very famous sex tape with someone. And then he was like, oh, so like Ray J? And it's like, yes, Ray J's sister. And he goes, I don't know who that is.
I heard about that. And it's just like... Jack.
I know. And
Jack.
So the internet ripped him apart, I guess, because it's one of those things where it's like, yes, he's very young.
Yes, of course.
And I get it. He's like 24.
He's young. Remember to floss, Jack.
Brandy, I feel like, is such a staple in R&B music that if you were going to be a white man coming into, you know, a black genre, you should know who Brandy is.
Well, and it's also kind of like, if you know who Ray J is.
I know.
You know who, it's, how do you not? Yeah.
And so she debuted her own freestyle over Jack Harlow's First Class. And she always had a rap alter ego named B Rocka. And B Rocka never really took off as her own thing. Because it's one of those things where it's like, when you have a voice like Brandy's, it's like you literally sound like Velvet vocally. Like, I don't need to hear you rap. Like, I feel like there are so few people that I'm like, oh, as a rapper and a singer, you are equally as amazing. Like, I feel like it's Lauryn Hill, end of list. Yeah. Like, you know, like I don't need anybody else to do it. But it was a cute little response. We love that for them. Ellen ended.
I watched her opening monologue and her closing monologue.
Oh, how was it?
They were lovely.
Did That's Not True, Ellen, come up?
It did not come up. I don't think there was time.
What's Dakota Johnson? That's right. I was like, what's her name? I mean, that's what started this whole thing, right? I feel like that interview led to all of the exposés of like anti-Ellen sentiment. It was, I feel like, an open secret in LA that Ellen was kind of a monster to work for. But it's just crazy that after 19 years and like, people forget at the early aughts how big of a deal going on Ellen was.
Oh, like, the thing is, like, not even the early aughts, but like the 10s, like for so long in the 10s, like she was responsible for so many, when things would start like going viral.
Totally.
Like she was responsible for so many of those things. I mean, the impacts that the show had on just sort of pop culture was really, really amazing, especially in the time of like streaming and everything.
I know. And she was pre-streaming, like when it was iTunes releases.
Yeah.
It was like, that's where you went.
Yeah. And I mean, like, of course, it can't go without saying, like, the lesbian factor, the fact that she was an openly gay woman with a daytime talk show.
Yes.
And it did so well after having her sitcom canceled.
Right.
Because, you know, she came out. It was just like an amazing feat. And so, you know, congratulations on like 19 amazing years and the impacts that you had. It is a shame that like it went out.
Yes,
like
it ends on kind of like a sour
note. Awkward
note.
Yeah.
Okay, well, before we take our break, we'd be remiss if we did not talk about the Texas situation. So there was another school shooting And I believe I feel like the number keeps changing. Is it 21 people died?
I believe so. I believe it was 19
kids.
students and 2 teachers.
There's not much to say about this except it's devastating. And clearly things need to change and bother every fucking Republican in public that's in the Senate. Like everyone who's interrupting Ted Cruz's meals, keep doing it. Because fuck this. Why do we have to live like this? The fact that we know other countries that have stricter gun laws don't go through it, and we just are deciding that this is like, inevitable. And it's like, it's really fucking not. Yeah. And it's like, and I feel like we were just talking about Sandy Hook. We were like, if Sandy Hook's not going to change things.
I mean, like the thing is, like we're 10 years out of Sandy Hook now. There's like so much has happened in these 10 years that everyone is hoping that this is finally something that will create that change. I mean, the fact that like it feels like we are being held hostage by these Republican politicians, because the thing is, like, a gun reform bill passed in the House of Representatives. The Democrats passed it in the House of Representatives, but they're not voting on it in the Senate because the Republicans aren't voting and they won't vote for it and everything. So it's just, we are being held hostage. It's horrifying, and just watching every single video that I see or thing that I read about it is just more devastating.
The new things you read about it are truly horrifying. Like, if you are hoping to go on with your day and not be broken, don't look anything else up about it. But that doesn't mean we stop fighting, that we stop voting. We have to do all of those things. But it's just like, it's just disheartening. It's disgusting. It's like how the NRA has a grip on these people so tightly, and that our children are being sacrificed for these people and so that they can retain their power. It's just sickening. It's repugnant. I can't believe this is the country we live in, and hopefully things change.
I can't talk about it.
But yes, the additional information that you find out about the police and the parents, it's just like,
and just like what that situation was like. The fact that like the cops were scared to do something, like the people who are supposed to go in and do something.
And their reasoning didn't make any fucking sense. We didn't think it was an active shooter situation. There were children calling 911. You knew. Okay, we have to stop. I'm getting too upset.
Yeah.
It's devastating. Our hearts are broken, and our hearts go out to all of the victims' families, and I guess everyone just do what they can. But it's an awful situation that we're all locked into right now.
Yeah, and I guess we take a break.
We take a break.
This was a devastating week. Like I can't talk about it.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast. All right, we're back.
We're back.
Yes.
We are on to Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, 2 spelled TW.
Oh. Wow, you got very into that.
Hey, I'm a host, baby.
That's true.
So the first question comes to us from Rachel. Rachel says, Patty freaking Lupone. Hello, Mats. Long time no email. I saw that your latest pod title was about Patty LuPone, and I had to run to my email to tell you that on the day that you were recording this pod, I was seeing her live and in person in company on Broadway.
Wow.
It was completely magical and changed my life, and I related way too much to Katrina Lang's Bobby as the token single friend. Yikes. At the end of the show, a representative from the GLAAD Media Awards came up on stage and presented company with an award for excellent queer representation on Broadway because they gender bent some of the parts and made one of the friend couples a gay couple, as you probably know. Obviously, I'm so happy for the cast, and I hope Matt Doyle wins the Tony. But if having one gay couple in a show is considered exceptional queer representation, especially since they were supporting characters and it was their impending wedding, not their queerness, that was the focus of the story, the bar is perhaps low. I do understand the perspective that queer stories should be seamlessly incorporated into shows without their queerness being the focus, but still, I think the show could have been gayer. That being said, I'm wondering what your favorite queer characters, shows, or moments are in theater, or if you could gender bend a cast, what characters in that show do you think should be gay? Thanks.
That's a great question. Matt Steele, you must have an answer more readily available than I do to this.
I mean, just like in my wildest fantasies, I've always wanted a fucking all-male production of 9 and just have Guido just be this guy and all these gays just there being all the women around him. And I've dreamed of playing every single part in that show, like being Carla and doing Call from the Vatican with my legs behind my head, doing the contortionist stuff, like in the original production. And but I would love to play Louisa in 9. I love how this has turned into like I want to play all these parts.
Exactly.
But like I would love it like a male Louisa in 9, just because I love the song "My Husband Makes Movies" so much. It's one of my favorite show tunes, and so I would love to be able to sing that song live. And maybe I'll just save that for my cabaret. But yeah, that's a show I could love doing some queer to. What's like a show or a movie or a TV show or something?
Well, it's no secret that I love The Last 5 Years.
Oh, I mean,
and the idea of playing Kathy really sounds brilliant to me.
I mean, I would love to play Kathy.
We would be great Kathy. So we'd have to find a Jamie.
I know. Who would be willing to be the Jamie to our Kathy?
Aaron Tveit.
We would be great. Settled.
It's been settled. It's been cast.
But like who? Because we would be Kathy's filled with rage.
That's true.
Full on rage.
Yes.
Because like fuck Jamie.
Jamie's a piece of shit.
So like that actor is going to have to be able to take a beating on that stage verbally.
I think Aaron could do it. I think he seems strong enough.
He's brave.
He's got the vocal, capability, which we appreciate.
Of course, yeah, we know.
Yeah, I feel like I hate to go Last 5 Years because it's one of my favorite musicals, but I just have thought about singing many of those songs.
Oh, I mean,
many times in my life.
We are all Kathy. All of us in this live chat on YouTube, we are all Kathy.
Yes.
And God bless you if you're a Jamie.
Honestly.
But I think that's a great choice. What's like a good example of queer representation you have seen recently?
On Broadway or in general?
I think she meant like in musicals, but like I guess in general, because what was the last musical? Was there any in Hadestown?
I don't think there was anything in Hadestown. I mean, some of those chorus boys seemed a little gay.
Okay.
But I don't think that
great
counts.
representation, guys.
What about you? What do you think is your favorite?
Honestly, the best queer representation I have seen, like in mainstream. I'm going to talk movies now instead of shows, but just that gay couple in Judy, that movie. I have never seen.
You saw yourself on screen.
I've never seen a better representation of my gay ass on screen than the two men who love Judy Garland so much, and like the fact that Judy is in their apartment with them. Like, imagine if like Mariah like stumbled upon your doorstep and was just like sitting there talking to you all night and like singing songs with you. Like that is like you couldn't dream of anything better. And the fact that you saw like in this couple's apartment, like the pictures of them together after being together for years with like intermingled with pictures of Judy in those pictures, you just saw that this couple, Judy is what brought them together. Like their diva brought them together. And to me, that is just gay. That is just gay. That is what being just a gay is like. Just you just love your diva and it brings you together with the other gays, and that's how you bond.
I get it. And that's absolutely right. That's kind of the thesis statement of this show. So we can attest that is real life. I am actually having a little bit of trouble, which is speaking to a larger problem, because the most like queer content I consume are the things that are top of mind are all like a Heartstopper, Love Victor. It's like high school gay shit, which I like, and I'm certainly not shitting on. But when you think of like people our aged and the shows, I don't know. I'm drawing more of a blank. I think of a show like Happy Endings, which I do very much love, but one of the things about that show that doesn't ring as true is the main character of Max being like, I'm gay, but like basically straight. And it's like, okay, that was probably novel in like 2013 when this show came out, but it does not age great. And I wish I could think of more gays of our own age group, and maybe the Fire Islands, maybe the Bros, maybe the films and TV shows and content, the Queer as Folk reboot, maybe all of that will scratch that itch for me. But the Queer as Folk reboot, which it's a legitimate thing that happened and a legitimate thing that's based on, but not to bring it dark again, it opens with
that. When I saw that trailer, I was like, I don't know.
It opens with like a shooting, a mass shooting, which
gay club,
and it's like, I don't know that's not, I mean, I get it as a driving force, but is it like something I want to see on television right now? No. In the world we live in right now? No. But yes, I hope for Fire Island and maybe Queer as Folk beyond that, and maybe Bros. Because it's sad I can't think of people our age in the content that's come out that I'm like, oh, I see myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. You can see yourself in the old gays and Judy.
I mean,
you're
yes.
creeping up there.
But that movie was not for me.
Oh, I loved that movie.
Oof. Yeah.
I loved it. I love how your like thesis, like your take back from Judy was just like, why couldn't she just like get it together and go on stage and do it? And it's like,
I did want her to get it together.
That's the whole thing.
I did.
So next question comes to us from Scott. I love this heading. Should I hate him forever?
A great question.
Hey, Matt and Matt, I've been wrestling with something and maybe you can, oh, sorry. The name is Shay.
Okay.
Hey, Matt and Matt, I've been wrestling with something and maybe you can give me some insight. Here we go. About 12 years ago, me and a friend of mine who identifies as straight had a sexual encounter after a few drinks.
Okay.
Ever since that happened, we went on to become best friends and I am even the godfather to his 2 daughters. Over the course of time, things have happened between us a few times, but it has always been fun to me and we remained really close. There have been times I have taken him off the street, fed him when he was hungry, and even helped him fight his drug addiction. You are a great friend.
Great friend.
Fast forward to a few months ago, he met this girl and for some reason felt led to tell her about our encounters, which I think was completely stupid. The girl becomes completely jealous and constantly gives him a hard time about it. After about 5 months of them dating, he called me and told me she no longer likes the idea of us being friends, so he can't talk to me anymore. Some days I miss him, but overall I just became disgusted with him. I know they won't last, so should I keep my heart open and understanding, or should I just never talk to him again? I enjoy you guys and thanks for everything. This is so hard.
This is hard. And it's one of those things where it's like, maybe there's no right answer. But to me, from my point of view, if you're saying this is likely going to end, and you're likely right, you know, they're just in a relationship, most relationships end. If he comes crawling back to you, I would not be a person that would be like, no, never talk to him again, hate him forever. Because again, you're the godfather to his kids.
Yeah.
I hope you come back around. But it's like when you break a mirror and you put it back up and it's never quite the same. You know that this happened. You know that this is on the table. How can you fully trust someone who's going to cut you out of their lives because of someone else? You know that that is something that can happen now. Like, to me, it's like, I would be their friend, of course. I would not fully trust them and I would not invest as much of myself in them.
Okay, I think that's fair. Like, you would be, because the thing with him is I feel like he is a person who has gone through some things and is probably still going through some things. So if I don't know his situation, but it seemed like he, you know, had some problems that he had to deal with. Maybe he's still dealing with something, like trying to find himself or figure himself out. So if I knew his situation and everything, I could put myself in a mindset where I would be more forgiving and empathetic and everything if he did say like, hey, please forgive me. I want to be friends again. But I'm not in that situation, so I don't know.
But if one of your best friends did that to you and then came back, how would you react?
I would I'm a forgiver.
You'd 100% forgive.
No.
I would, yes.
I will not forget, but like, you know, I'm a person who likes to see the good in the people, and like, if I know someone and I can you know, I know what they have gone through and everything. It doesn't matter what happens, like, they are still my friend. Like, to me in my heart. And it's even like when me and my friends like fight or whatever, like I'm like my coworker, we literally like scream at each other.
Well, fighting is one thing.
Of course. Yeah. But you know, there are times where she's just like, I'm not talking to you anymore. And I'm just like, girl, okay. Like, at this point we're like brother and sister, like we can have those fights and then the next day nothing's changed.
First, but the fact that you can change your mind about me in your life completely because someone you don't, you know, who's just entered your life has told you to do so. Like, I get that.
Also, fuck that girl.
Like, it's just like, she's clearly very insecure and that is what this is based on. But like, that to me is where friendships are tested. And that's when you say, you know, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. He's one of my best friends. Sure, this happened. It doesn't mean anything. I'm with you. I love you. And if you can't trust me in a friendship with this guy, then we have larger problems and I'll see you around. Because your relationship with this guy is a lot longer than your relationship with this girl.
Oh, I mean,
you know,
as the philosophers of our time once said, if you want to be my lover, You gotta get with my friends.
The issue was he got with his friends. And so that I get it causes a problem.
Yes.
I get that being uncomfortable, but it's like, you think us as gay people haven't dated guys who are still friends?
Oh my God, I just talked about the guy who I dated for a little bit, and then now we're friends, and I'm like, go to his Instagram page.
But you would, if you had a friend, or like you dated a guy and then they were like still friends with someone they hooked up with, how ridiculous would you sound if you were like, I don't want you to be friends with them anymore? It's like, in gay world, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Town.
Especially when they are the godfather of your children.
Are you not thinking about the children, how they're affected?
Well, but see, that would also affect my thing with like if he breaks up with that girl, and which he should, please, and like comes back and it's like, oh, forgive me, like that is something that I would also consider. It's like I'm the godfather of his children.
True,
you know,
and
like,
I would make myself available to that.
Yes,
but a piece of my heart is now closed off.
Oh well, yeah, like
just a piece.
You have to work your way back.
Yes. And maybe we'll get there and maybe we won't.
But we will not get there now.
But you were the one that made this change. You were the one that broke this friendship. So you should be the one to fix it. So they're going to have to be doing a lot of the labor there.
So Shay, I say tread lightly.
Yes.
There is a chance to be open to it if it happens. But like, since he does go through problems, I think it would be nice if you can someday, even if you never speak to him again, forgive him in your heart.
Yeah, and that's the thing is whatever your reaction is, you have to put yourself and your own emotional safety first. So whatever feels good to you, like if you feel super vulnerable being as close to him as you once were, that's the only sign you need to go with. It's like, okay, well then I need to put you in a box where I can feel comfortable with you if you come back in my life. But A, don't wait for it.
No.
Don't assume this is going to happen. And B, if it does happen, you've got to, to me, I would start with them at an arm's length and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's hard being.
Oh my God.
Therapist, advice givers.
I know. I hope we said everything right.
There
is no right or wrong, but whatever.
We just talked about how we would react.
Yeah, sure.
So Matt, still have a question for you.
Yes.
What has been giving you moments, darling?
Okay, so like a couple like really tiny things.
Yeah.
We talked about it in the live chat that we are doing right now, and it's so stupid. I'll talk about it for 2 seconds. Someone tweeted a 126 length tweet thread ranking every single Big Brother contestant's intro from season 16 onward when
Just
they
wild.
had all of the because since season 16 they have this intro where each person gets like their own little 1 second movement where they do some like a kick up or like a surfer hands or something like that to like represent their character on the show. And someone ranked 126 of them, and it was just so wonderful reading it. It was so fucking funny. And my baby Becky from season 17 came in first place. Chugga chugga choo choo. She got hit by a train once, and that's like all people remember her as the girl who got hit by a train.
She's okay, right?
Yeah, she got hit by a train like a year before she
was in the Big
was
Brother
a
house?
contestant, and so she was just randomly in the house. She's like, "Yeah, last year I got hit by a train, and my face got hit by a train, and I had to have a bunch of reconstructive surgery." So whenever you talk about Becky, you always have to put a choo-choo train emoji. It's just like what the Big Brother fandom does. But Becky was my girl that season, and I'm happy she came in first place in this person's brilliant ranking. Anyway, another thing that gave me a little bit of a moment, in case you weren't aware, we have a cameo, and. One of our requests was, I believe our first request was for a lovely young lady named Monicia, and it was her birthday, and her boyfriend had bought her a cameo for her birthday.
It's very nice.
And we didn't know this, but you can send a video reaction to the people who you get a cameo from.
What?
And we had heard this happen because I believe she commented on one of our videos being like, "Did you see my video reaction?" And we were like, "We didn't see anything."
Yeah, where is it?
But you need to have the Cameo app.
I have the app.
You have the app? I'll show you how to find it.
Please.
This is like so narcissistic to have this be my giving me moments, but like because we react to other people's stuff so much, it was so wild to see someone react to us.
Wow.
And just like watching her reaction when she got the video and just watching it just made my heart explode into a million pieces. It's so adorable. She's so gorgeous and lovely and just seems so excited. So it was
queen.
like, this was fun.
It also is crazy because it's like when you see stuff like that, or even in the chats when we do these live, it's like, oh, so people
like us. It just blows my mind that like y'all just tune in either on YouTube or with the podcast or however you consume us.
It's very sweet.
Some people like on our Facebook page just like watch our reactions on Facebook and everything, and it just blows our minds the fact that you guys stick around, and it's like, really, we're just two gays. It's like we're the gays and Judy. We're just quiet, simple folk who just love our divas.
Quiet nor simple.
just like sitting around, being like, oh yeah, maybe one day we'll meet Judy Garland.
I don't foresee that for us. Wow.
So thank you, Monicia. It warmed our hearts.
That's very sweet. I still need to see it. I want my heart to be warm.
I'll show you, baby.
My cold heart needs it. Jesus.
I'll show you.
All right. Well, for me, I'm going to keep it simple, but I could literally write a dissertation on Kelly Clarkson's Happier Than Ever cover. Guys, when I tell you I have listened to this version of Happier Than Ever, it's like when I literally tweeted, I don't remember the last time I listened to a song this much. And it was Taylor Swift's All Too Well. Mm-hmm. It reminded me of when I first heard Kelly Clarkson sober back when I lived in New York and I was working, did some sort of student work study kind of thing. And on my lunch breaks, I would just sit at Washington Square Park by the fountain and listen to Sober on repeat and just be like, 3 months. The anger in her voice, the rage, the fact that you know who she's talking about, the little lyrical changes. I get it. You hate this city. I get it.
Oh my God.
You fucking tell me every that. I know these are previews Merry Christmas to the One I Used to Know, which if you haven't heard that on Kelly's latest Christmas album, another excellent moment. I cannot wait for this divorce album, which Kelly is currently taking a summer hiatus. She said, this is the first time since I was 16 that I am taking the summer off. And so I'm not rushing for it.
Okay.
I hope it's this year. She's very much like, it's basically done. It has gone through many iterations. I have to consider the little hearts involved. Because it's like, she's talking about what happened.
Yes.
It's really happening. And this, to me, was the clearest picture of where we're going. And I always have loved Happier Than Ever. I've always said I thought it was Billy's best song.
Oh my God, stunning.
And of course, Billy sounds great on it. But the Kelly Clarkson vocal performance. The thing is, as soon as she sang it on the show, I was like, this is fucking fantastic. But then you get that full song. You get her opening and how it's like piano, keyboard based. It goes into the guitar. It comes in. There's just the heartfelt nature of her performance. She, to me, I feel like there are many artists who do many different things. And I feel like a lot of people try to underrate artists that don't write their own music. Not to say Kelly doesn't. She wrote Sober, for example. She wrote Piece by Piece. She's an excellent writer. But she also is an excellent interpreter of great material, much like the late great Whitney Houston. And she, to me, elevated that song to a brand new level. I cannot speak enough about the brilliance, the heartbreak, the rage, every emotion that women are told they should not have. She is expressing on this song, and it's coming from the truest part of her soul. Yeah. I am obsessed with it.
It's incredible, and it's a testament to me, a great song is just one that you could hear so many people sing it and you're just like, yes, this works on so many different levels for each person and everything. And the thing I love about the song is how that first half, it feels like a regular night thinking about your ex, because you're in bed and you're just it's simple and it's just things are good. Mm-hmm. I'm happier than ever. This is what should have happened. It's a little melancholy, but we're in a good place. We're in a fine place now and everything. And then suddenly it's just wait.
Yes. And
rage.
You click starts. Back in.
You think about that one thing that makes you just spiral into just fucking rage.
Brilliant.
Not that I've ever done this before.
No.
Not that I have any experience with this. And that song is a masterpiece.
Beyond.
It's amazing. And Kelly's version, you've said it all. It's
unbelievable. If you run, don't walk. If you have not heard this version of Happier Than Ever, your life will be changed for good by listening to that. All right. I think that's all I have for the podcast. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the people?
I don't think so. I think we did it. We did it all. We did.
Thank you guys so much for listening. And we'll be back next week with more Two Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye. Floss your teeth.
Floss them.